Go.
How are we looking?
I think we're good. Yeah, looks like I think. Oh, yeah, we're live for 6 seconds
Have
now.
you done the thing
What thing?
to check our live?
Oh, yeah. We're still working on this, guys. So just
Oh, we are
give
live.
us. We are live.
Yes, we are
We
live.
are live. It says live, and then I still need to learn how to record, guys, because I don't even know how to record. So
I'm gonna Vanna White this real quick.
I should be. I'm Vanna White.
If we can get the time where when I do this and somebody just edit sparkles
Oh
when I
yeah,
do
see,
this.
we're live.
Oh, sweet.
There we go. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Let me exit. We don't need to hear that. Okay. We don't need to hear that crap. I'm just kidding. So,
Oh my god. Oh lord.
woo. Oh, we don't need to zoom in on that. As if we have someone to zoom in. My hair is still. Anyways, welcome
Welcome.
back to another episode of The Purple Pill.
The purple pill.
And so, what is our topic today? So, we saw a
I'm
video.
excited.
I saw a video, and it was this girl who has said, I think women want wives. They want someone to support their dream, be supportive, ambitious, and all that other kind of stuff. So, the question of the day is, do women prefer a strong support system in the freedom to work, or do they yearn for a traditional protector and provider? And so the question that I had when somebody had sent me that video was, what are my thoughts? And I said, I think feminism played a part, but I think men allow that to go on. That's what I think.
Fascinating. You know, it's interesting to hear this because I find in my circle and in my echo chamber of content and conversations, the majority of men would outweigh the narrative of a man wanting 50-50 terms.
So you're saying more men want to be that role
Yes.
in your circle that you know of?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you first shared this with me, the first thing I came to my mind was a Dusty. You know, a guy that wants the girl to be 50-50, wants the girl, a guy that's looking for a girl that brings work to the table, that brings her own bank account to the table. There's a national saying, her money's her money and my money's her money. That saying exists for a reason. When I grew up back in my day, there was a thing called the Jetsons, and in the starting of the TV show, there was the wife that he was giving out people money. Kids were going to school, and he would hand his wife like money out of his wallet. The wife took the wallet, left him with a few dollars.
Right.
This is a truth socially that we have.
It's like Married with Children. Married with Children. So that's what happened.
Okay,
She would take all the money out and give him back an empty wallet.
see, so that there you go. And that is understood to a degree because, you know, while the husband's out making money from a traditional standpoint, of course, you know, the wife is at home. If the kids are young enough, she's with the kids. If the kids are old enough, they're in school. You know, she's maintaining a house, doing whatever it is that the house is related. If there's nothing to do, maybe she is, you know, enjoying extracurricular activities, whatever it is that, you know, women do on their own, you know, hang with other home moms.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there is a narrative and energetic benefit that a woman brings to the table that allows her to not have to bring work
So
to the conversation.
I think that feminism 100% started this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 100%. Without a doubt, it's the feminist fault
Yes.
initially. But the problem is there's so many men. There is a man, I was talking to one of my friends, and he was telling me about one of his friends. And he wants a woman to bring 50-50 while take care of home. And the idea of that is so you want me to pay for bills and the thing is people be like, well, you got to do it by yourself anyways. Okay, but there's also less for me to do if I do it by myself. If I don't have a family, if I only have, you know, if it's me versus me and my husband or whatever. I think that the question though, a lot of women do want that because they're believe that they can have that. And the difference isn't my other podcast that I'm going to be starting soon is Women Entrepreneurs.
Nice.
And the women entrepreneurs, all the women that I know so far that I have lined up to get ready to interview, believe in they can have a business if it does not harm the home. And it's not for the man to help them build per se. Like, it's not to be
Good.
You
So
know,
it's their project.
We all believe, and it's not like the man can't help, but
Right.
it's seeking and saying that's your role and responsibility is to help me build this so we can do this. No, because he has stuff and our role is a supportive role. I do believe that.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that there's far too many men out there that sit here and want, 50-50. I've never paid 50-50 and I never will. I've been married before. I've never.
Yeah.
That's one of the most
I want
ridiculous
to see.
things.
I want to see these people because my first question naturally is, what does this guy look like? I guarantee you, he doesn't look like me. And I don't say that braggadociously.
I was about to say, in what sense do you
Yeah.
mean?
So
Is he a white guy? Like, what do you mean he doesn't look like you?
I'm a man who believes in full authenticity, being upfront, doing the hard things, right? Being in the gym. And so that in itself, here's what I'm going to say. A man that operates in his true masculine narrative and full authentic truth is not going to be worried about a 50-50
True.
relationship.
True.
Because if this house catches on fire, I'm not dating her, but guess what? I'm going to make sure her and her kids get out before I worry about myself. That is my social masculine role. To make sure everybody gets out of this house alive before I worry about myself and the cats. So like,
I mean,
like,
the cats are the cats. Make it. That's kind of woo.
but like, no, seriously, that is my stance. I want to know what these guys look like because I can't fathom that statement without there being a lack of masculinity in these guys. The other thing I would also be willing to wager is any type of cynicism that is cultivating this mindset. So maybe they do look like me, and maybe they are in the gym, and maybe they are putting their best foot forward, and they're doing well for themselves. But then I would also question, and I hate to say this to sound like I'm on a woman's side. There are no sides, but who hurt you would be my next question. Is because that's just it's so. I wasn't raised that way. First off,
Right.
I don't know.
And see, I think that, okay. So you're saying that men, in your idea and your view from what you've seen, that are asking for these roles are not men that are really focused on bettering themselves.
Absolutely not.
But see, I think that I'm not going to say I necessarily disagree with that, but there are so many men out here. I saw a video that this woman was like, I don't want my man painting my nails. I don't want him doing my hair. I don't want him knowing what kind of concealer I wear. I want him fixing my car. I want my man out there changing my oil, putting gas in, taking the trash out, doing me too. I want a manly man.
Right.
But I think that it's this whole thing because it's sweet if he knows, because he's taking on your interest.
Yeah.
And so there are men that will do that and that will be the supportive type. And it's not that they can't really be, something else, but they like a girl. She's a pretty girl. And they get to know her. And she might have a good personality. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
So, and he wants to do for her because now it's just so much in this role where women can do what a man can do.
Yeah. And from what I've seen and a few people I've talked to, there's a balance in those roles. I agree with that lady.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think there's anything wrong with a man knowing those details.
Right.
Because if he's out at the store or if it's Christmas time, what better way to know your woman and know what
Right.
to purchase as a gift
Yeah.
than to have those details unlocked. Now, to know the brand and the shade and this and all the details might be a little questionable.
Now, if he sees it all the time in the kitchen, the bathroom. Okay, I'm a woman. Y'all see those memes that be like the man's side of the bathroom and the woman's side of the bathroom?
That's hilarious.
And it be stuff all over the sink. So she's probably left it out. Okay, like I'm not saying like I don't clean up, but I go in my room. Every time I go in my room when I've been at work for a few days, I come back and there's more stuff on my counter because my daughter was in there and that's what she does too.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like I leave stuff on the counter too. I am not I'm guilty of your stereotypical woman counter issues, but I mean, I don't think I'm that bad, but I definitely do it. So it could be something he sees all the time. But in general, are women seeking partners? Are women seeking the help meet and to not be the help meet? Is that
I'm seeing more of that in the mentality. And again, all I can do is go off of the numerous amount of videos from numerous different providers from numerous different states and cities and towns. And I will say cities because the towns are going to bark a whole different narrative.
Oh, yeah,
but for
for
the
sure.
most part, the modern woman has been empowered to a degree where she's been brainwashed into thinking that a supportive role is a ball and chain. And that's not true because if you talk to the women,
I
who
thought
are
men
being,
believe that.
well, we believe that for marriage, but if you look at the women who are being silenced right now through the, what do they call it, through the algorithms and are over 40 that had the career, they're miserable. If you look at the unpopular posts and news articles about these women who are 50 plus that make hundreds, if not millions of dollars that are not satisfied. One of my favorite female actresses, Charlene, the blonde lady, she's South African.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She can't date, can't find nobody to date. Now one of the things that women will do, and she probably did it to herself, is price themselves out of the market because hypergamy dictates that a woman finds a guy that's better than her. And if she doesn't, then she's dating down or settling.
She would probably need to find someone more equal to her.
Correct. And that's
Like-
at that point, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because if a man on that level is operating his truth, we could be 50-50 and I could still hold my role as a leader, despite the fact that we're both making $100,000 and both making millions of dollars. Because typically, the way it is, so they're one light and two light in Kansas City, high end lofts or
Right.
town. So
Whatever,
a guy,
apartments.
yeah. So a guy moves in there next to a girl, and he's got his eye on this girl. Well, the fact that he makes $100,000 a year and he's living in this place, she's looking at the guy that's in a penthouse. So if you're in these social dating scenarios, typically from hypergamy standard, the guy is invisible that's on her level. She's looking up here. He's on the same floor with her on the 5th floor or whatever floor that is. She's looking at the guy that's in the penthouse on the 10th floor.
So then, in that sense, you think that women are looking for a provider and a protector?
That would
See. So what is it?
It's not that they're looking for a provider and protector. Hypergamy dictates that woman finds somebody better than them. However, the delusion that men will talk about that women have is that they expect that guy to allow them to keep their OnlyFans and everything else while.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that's
Yeah,
mad
you see what I'm saying?
disrespectful. The only way, and this is just saying like for it to be. I mean, and yeah, okay. Should you have one? Should you not? The only way that I would even say like, yeah, go ahead. People got their own kinks. People got their own things.
Yeah.
If y'all are doing this together,
Right. Yeah. Whatever.
I mean, if you're doing that together, that's something totally different. But these women are not doing it with their men. And they're doing it with other men. They're doing it, single. They're doing it with multiple. And okay, that's a whole nother, anyways, that's a whole nother topic. So.
But does it make sense, the delusion of the hypergamy narrative of wanting a guy that's better because he's attractive? That's all
Right.
it is. It's attraction. But then the delusion that guy is going to support me and my goals and my wishes. Like for me, even when I hit my personal goals and ambitions and the ultimate lifestyle that I want to cultivate for myself and retire my mom, I most likely won't date a female that's a entrepreneur that's starting her pathway because I want to respect the fact that that's going to be her focus.
Right.
I'm selfish. I want somebody that is absolutely adores me. Like my friend I had over, she buys me little accessories for my room because it's beach vibes. She found a seashell Christmas tree and got it for me. Like just
cute.
little thing, like most of your successful relationships and the relationships I've had that were extremely successful and we didn't argue or anything were relationships where it was a 55-45 split, right? Where there is a dynamic in the giving and taking. If I was all head over heels for my friend, she would get bored of me. She would be like, "Oh, like too much. That's my assumption because of what I've
Okay.
experienced as a nice guy.
I'm like,
Because I'm too available. I'm too this. I'm too that. There's a level of balance, and I tell her that sometimes I don't know how to, or I tell her I don't want you to see all of me. I don't want you to see me at my worst.
well, she's not the one. I mean, that's fine. Like, but
I mean, she's legit. She showed it to my uncle's funeral when he passed.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like she's
That's
like
nice.
legit. She is like. I
yeah,
mean,
well, she's not the one yet. Then
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you
So I mean,
know.
like it's one of those things where it's just like that dynamic.
So then the whole fact that that dynamic exists, not that dynamic, but the whole women wanting a supportive man, a wife per se, is that the woman's fault or the man's fault?
That I don't think fault's the right word because
Who's
there's
the one that allowed this to happen? Who is it that caused this dynamic? Who?
I will answer that,
That's okay. There we go.
but I will answer it shortly so that we stay on topic.
Okay.
Because the truth is, if we start with feminism 1st,
Mm-hmm.
it is being whistleblown that feminism was started by a CIA initiative
Oh, yeah.
to break down the nuclear family. And it was focused on the African American community first. And there is a very old video of a man in the 80s recording like these African American schoolgirls in school. And the girl, there's like about teen pregnancy that started off back then. And the girl, this little black girl was like, oh, I don't need no man. I can just raise a baby myself. In the 80s, I think the video is from 1984 or something like that. But like she was
Great year, by the way. I was born that year.
Oh,
Just saying. I'm
so
old.
whatever. So like, and she was saying that back then. Now it was rare, but that was it started then.
I mean, they started the 60s and 70s is when they really started pushing,
now
programs and stuff like
but
that.
and also it's told that feminism was originally just designed to provide the opportunity for a woman to choose. But now it's evolved, voting and stuff like that.
So taxation without representation is theft. We vote and we think that counts for representation. Who we vote for is our representation.
Right.
If a woman was to work, she could not vote. You could not tax her. Taxes didn't even exist till about 100 years ago, not permanently anyways. So as far as that goes, a woman being able to work is a way to be able to tax individuals.
Correct.
Taxation without representation is theft. And also, because women couldn't vote, women would pick people who were more like-minded to what they thought
Fair.
as a partner because their vote mattered to them. Like, if that was the case, if I cared about that, I'm going to pick somebody who is more like-minded, and then we're going to, we're going to go, that distance or whatever the case is, because now it kind of doesn't matter for the most part. I mean, except for the whole Trump thing where if you hate Trump, whatever, but you love whatever, that's like a dividing.
Yeah.
But before it's never mattered. But if you have such different views, basically more liberal, now a little different views are always good, I think.
Correct.
Me and one of my best friends, we have no of the same views, but we know how to talk to each other.
Right.
And so we're able to do that. But as far as that goes, yeah, feminism, that's a whole nother episode. Okay, but feminists, so I think that it's probably, for sure, feminism started all of this. Feminism, women's rights.
And then what happened, to just finish it off, is you had that part, right? Government intervention, boom, feminism. And then from that, the manipulation of media, and I say manipulation strongly,
Yeah.
to then indoctrinate the next generation slowly but surely.
Right.
Because at that time, right, say 90s, boom, cool.
Right.
You've got it. Women are voting, women are working, you can do whatever you want, cool. But through the use of these TV shows and things, painting a new perspective on the men being an idiot,
Right.
aka Family Guy, aka the Drew Carey Show, aka, because guess what? Before that was what? Family Matters, was
Cosby Show.
Cosby Show. What's the one with the white guys? Home Improvement.
Oh,
I mean, he was kind of like a,
There's a lot of them with white guys. So
yeah,
you say what?
Where they weren't like idiots. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh no, Home Improvement. Tim was an idiot.
Oh, he was an idiot?
Yeah,
I thought he
he was an idiot, but he was He was a home improvement guy.
Okay.
It was comedy.
Okay.
But you had Family Ties. What was it? It was, and then something. What was Leonardo DiCaprio in when he was little? That was a show.
Something like.
Anyways, I get it. I get what you're saying. You have more family, like friendly type. This is what it is kind of thing.
Right. That helped represent a stable family
Okay.
back then.
Right.
And one example, and this is a new movie, but one example I'll give is Denzel Washington's movie, and I can't think of the name right now, but they're in the hood, and he raised a son, but his son was kind of like, he went to the army, he thought his dad would be proud of him. So
Oh, you know,
it was like pretty hardcore of a
I know
movie.
what you're talking about. Who did Mufasa? Earl Jones.
Yes.
What's his name?
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones did the play version of that, and honestly, he was better than Denzel in that role. Oh my gosh, there's a play. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Picket fence, something like that.
Yeah.
The other side of the fence. So,
Yep.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So like, yeah, but so anyways, you have
James
that,
Earl Jones is
the
better.
indoctrination of media that now has tainted, not poisoned, tainted the image of the male to then increase the. It's an agenda. That's all I'm going to say.
No. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's an
Okay,
agenda. So it's not
so
a men's fault, my fault.
feminists-
Yeah.
Feminism definitely started. We agree on that.
Okay.
I think men play a huge role in continuing that on.
Okay.
And what I think is the reason why I think that is because I think that I can tell you right now, I'm a very strong-willed woman, and people think that I can't be submissive. People think that I'm masculine because sometimes I'm strong-willed or whatever. But then when I ask men who are like, who I know are like truly like, I hate saying alpha males, but more alpha males. None of them, all of them are like, you're one of the most feminine women I know. Like, that's hilarious. You're definitely, you exude femininity. Yeah, you're assertive sometimes, but you're also a mother. You have to be in that role. You were in the Marine Corps. You did all this stuff. You do.
Correct.
You know, I did armed security for the federal government for so long. You know, being a secret agent. We'll say, you know, I have to be that. Some of it because of my life choices and some of it because of, you know, where I am. And so they'll be like, no, that's not, the way that you do it is not. Like, there's ways to be assertive when you're
Right.
masculine. There's ways to be assertive when
Correct.
you're feminine. And standing on what you believe in is not masculine or feminine. That's
No.
just a principle.
Correct.
And so, so with that, I think I am a firm believer. I've seen it happen where men do not let me get away with things. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I see where men let me get away with things. And then I keep doing it. Not on purpose. I'm not purposefully trying to push boundaries. Okay.
Right.
I'm not. But
Would you say it's subconscious? Just curious.
yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
so. But that's how kids are. Women are big kids. Okay. I think maybe we all are.
I agree.
Like, if you deal with me the way that you deal with like a 2-year-old, you know, oh, baby, come here. Like, it's like, oh, okay. Like, because we want that. That's what we give. That's what we want. But I think in general. And so with that, I just think that it's really, men allow this, and there are more, I don't know if it's more or less men. I can't say. I have dated 2 men that I can think of off the top of my head that made less money than me. Okay. And I make a lot of money. Okay. Like, I make good money. Let me say I make good money. I don't make a lot of money. I make good money.
Okay.
This last year, I'm probably in the top 11% earners. I made $3,000 less than to be in the top 10% earners. Okay. I work hard. I make a lot of money, and I never let that define me because I don't think that a woman ever brings money to the table.
Correct.
That's because I live my life the way I live my life. Whatever. That's a whole nother topic. But, so as far as that goes, but I think that men, and I can tell you right now, there's a man I'm thinking about right now, who was making like 36,000 when I'm making like 100,000. And we had conversations about money. He's like, I don't think you should do that, you know, with your money. Okay. Because even with $40,000 a year, he wasn't broke. So that means he knows how to manage money too. So it's like, even still, there's a level where you can know. Now, the chances of that really being something that somebody can do is manage 40,000 in today's economy. You probably need to make more than that. Okay. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you probably do. But as far as the idea, like, oh, if you make 6 figures, you do this, that, and the third, whatever, like, that's just because I know plenty of people who make six figures. I know people that have reached $1 million in a lifestyle and still in their lifetime and still broke. So it don't mean nothing.
No, it's easy to spend
Right.
a couple grand in a day.
But I think, but men put their foot down. The problem is when it happens for far too long,
Right.
it's really hard for you to be able to do that. At some point you can't.
Correct.
But if I come with the attitude, well, you have to make money, we have to do 50-50, whatever. What do you bring to the table? Don't ever ask, what do you bring to that is the worst question. Now,
It's great for a topic.
You know
for
what?
viewership, but
this
not.
is going to be our next. We have to go live again because I don't know how to record yet. So we're going to do a few of these and then eventually we're going to record these down.
Yeah.
And that's going to be our little next when we go live here whenever this episode's over. We're going to talk about what you bring to the table. So I'm not even going to bring my comment that I was about to say. But as far as that goes, men allow this to happen far too much. And because the man allows that to happen, because the man is not supportive in the sense, baby, you don't have to work. I got you. Just help me, Because of that, that's why this continues on. That's what I think. That's why it continues on. So I think the men allow it
So
to
within
continue.
those relationships,
Yes.
the man not stepping up.
Yeah. And
Okay.
he's scared. He don't know what to do. I mean, everybody gets canceled for everything. He's now this, he's that.
Now,
He's-
again, that's what I was waiting on to see if that might come up because I was going to bring it up. Men are scared, which they shouldn't, but they've been programmed to be scared of cancel culture and being victimized
Yeah.
through falsehoods that stifle them from operating in their masculine, or not masculine, operating in their trueness, to step up or put their foot down. You
Okay.
know, by the way, what you were describing earlier, I was laughing on the inside. We call that shit test. And it is subconscious for most.
Oh, you're talking about like testing to see how far.
Yeah.
No, I know. Like I've caught myself doing it before, but it's not until like after the fact when I realize, okay, I did this. Like this is something that, and I don't try to do it.
No, yeah, it's
No,
subconscious.
I think a shit test is more that orange theory, the orange theory.
Tell me about it.
So I ask you if you can peel an orange for me. And you'll do it if you care. And if you won't, then you won't do other things for me. And then therefore, yeah, it's an orange theory. It's like a test. Like, will you do?
There she is.
Okay.
You missed the tour of my house.
Oh, that's okay.
What are you doing?
I'm recording right now, so I'll look at it later.
Well, there's no recording, so that's all right. Bye.
No, I'm recording. Love you.
I love you.
That's my sister.
Oh,
Yeah, my daughter just came in here to show me. She called my sister on
is that
Messenger.
the kids messenger thing?
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. So she called my sister. My sister just showed her house in Wisconsin, which I haven't been to or seen yet.
That seems
She
cold
just-
right now. Oof.
Anyways, back to topic. Where were we? I totally forgot. Pick up where I left off.
Yes, essentially the orange theory, which she was explaining, which is new to me. It's very fascinating. I've never heard of that. I mean, to me, a shit test is a shit test, which is just like, like poke, or maybe it's, hey, and maybe it's a question of judgment. Maybe it's like, why do you stand at the fridge that way? It is a small little jab, either social, verbally, or physically, or in a social stand dynamic. Maybe it's in public.
But I would think that you would to call it a shit test.
That's what us guys call it, and
I
it's
just think that it would be more. I have to know that I'm doing it. Otherwise, I'm just pushing boundaries, and maybe that's what
because
we do.
it's the shit test is subconscious, because at all times a woman wants to make sure that she has the best catch, and how a man responds is going to determine what she thinks of him moving forward. And it's like a gradient scale that always changes on a regular basis. This is why men in a relationship are always on. There's never a moment of comfort, maybe when you're cuddling, but even then, like, you still, like me, if I cuddle, like my stomach's tight. I'm never like, I don't let it, I'm always
That's
on.
sad.
Well, it's not sad. It's just
No, it's sad.
because for me, when you look at it from the fact that at any point in time, and maybe it's just a lack of trust, at any point in time, there are other. Oh, I thought that's somebody whistling.
See, Anna said I'm pretty masculine.
Oh, cool. We got some people talking.
Yeah. Fences. That's the
Hey.
name of the movie. Yeah. Anna said, in my opinion, but you know, it's funny because women will say that. Women will also call me masculine, which
Oh.
women are not alpha women, right?
Right.
There's not.
Now, see, for a woman to say that, I can understand that because you
right.
exuberate leadership roles.
Right. So I get that. Now I do have a man who tried to say Anna ain't wrong, but you know what? Cal,
That's funny.
she is. Well, if you think that, then I guess did you see what I said about men who think that I'm masculine? Y'all like beta males, like only.
Oh Lord, she said it. Oh snap!
But it's because
That's
I mean,
funny.
the things that I've done, I will never be. Now, one thing that I think that a lot of people can agree on, and I can agree on this, I think I'm very feminine.
Oh yeah, the last podcast I was like, yeah, you're super feminine.
Right. We talked about this. I do not think that I am a soft female. I don't think I'm soft feminine. I think you can be feminine and then there's a softness.
Correct. Yeah.
And we do relate the softness with femininity as I think as you should, but the problem is that I'm not a soft feminine. And so because I'm not soft, I don't have that softness. I have been through so much trauma. I don't think I can ever have that softness. I don't think I will ever. Yeah. When I care about people, it's like my actions show you that I care because I'm here. Yeah. If you need something, reach out to me. I'm not calling you. I'm not really good for reaching out for people, but my softness, I don't have that softness that a lot of people think that they seek. But I'm very caring.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not.
I know it's weird.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to describe it. Yeah, you're not a soft feminine, but I would actually say if you were soft, it would take away from who you are because what makes you fun is your spunkiness. So you're feminine with your where'd it go? What's a pineapple?
It's
so you're like this pineapple. You know, you got these pricklies. Like normally a pineapple has like pricklies on the sides.
It's so cute and shiny.
But it's still cute and small.
And shiny.
And shiny, right? Extra. And that's really kind of your spirit fruit, you know, is because like you're small
so
and dainty, but you have your spiky, but you're extra at the same time. And that to me is what makes you work. You know, is that you're still feminine, but you have a prickliness, or you know, almost like you can hang with the guys.
Right.
That it's a great balance, and a lot of women sometimes don't have that balance.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not awesome. I'm just saying that I am very feminine, but I just am not a soft feminine. That's all that I'm saying. That's what I think about myself.
And I mean, each has their benefits, you know.
Well, if you think about it, like a lot of women, I mean, we talk about toxic masculinity, right? But toxicity is toxicity.
Correct.
Okay, it's not really, there really is no real thing of toxic masculinity.
No, it's not.
Once it gets to abuse, that's toxic.
That's just toxic.
Okay, like a man who can't take, but how many women, studies will sit here and show you can read studies that show that men underreport women, like abuse from women by 40%.
Correct.
That's what they have with studies, because men are not going to admit when a woman like, oh, she beat my ass, she did this, whatever. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, if a woman slaps you, you're not calling the cops because a woman slapped you.
Correct.
But if you slap a woman, if she don't call the cops, whoever saw it is.
Right.
You know, and so there is more power in a man. So I'm not saying at any time is it okay to hit somebody. But I've done that, especially with my first husband. Like, we both went back and forth. You know, he had PTSD before PTSD was a thing, and it just wasn't something. I got married at 18, and he started getting abusive. I was abusive too. And I mean, it was both, but I was allowed to do that. I was allowed to push those buttons. I was allowed to go overboard. I was allowed to do all that. I've also been someone who, like, I got mad one time and hit him, and they were like, if you ever in your life again, I'm never speaking to you. And like put it down right then and there. And I was like, dang, I'm doing something wrong. That's when I realized I was doing something wrong because of what I've been through and everything like that. And so it's like,
and that was a man that held his boundaries.
Right. And so I think boundaries are very important. So as far as all that goes, I think a lot of women do want to help meet and not be the helpmeet. Mm-hmm. I think feminism was the cause of it, but I believe that men help it far too much. I get you want to be supportive to the person you love.
Right.
But
there's a balance. There's a balance.
But my role is a support role. So what are you doing? Now, if you're good and set up and you don't need my support, that's something totally different also.
Right.
Let's say you're a CEO of a company, although I'm probably never going to be a CEO, guys. Like unless it's somebody who started their own company, because that's not going to happen. I want your time.
Yeah.
I don't care about money. But unless you're like a CEO of a company, I forgot what I was saying.
Uh-oh.
I do that often. Oh, right. You've made it. You're a CEO of a company. And now I want to do something. I probably can't get your support in that case. But basically, if you're doing something where you're making a lot of money and you're happy and you're content and you're like, I'm good. Let's say, okay, a blue collar worker, right? A blue collar man who makes, $100,000 a year.
Plumber.
He works.
HVAC.
You as his wife wake up at 3 a.m. to cook him food, to make sure his lunch is ready to go. And he's home by, 5, 6, very long day. He's been out there working. And then on the weekend, he said, honey, if you need something, I got the kids while you build something, or honey, what do you need? I can do a little bit, but I'm out there with my hands. I'm working. I'm doing whatever. Like there is a place where he can be the support, because women want, as a woman in general, we're programmed to want more emotional support.
Right.
And I think that we take that for any support at any time because you're being there for us.
That's fair. And it's hard because, again, from a man's perspective, or from that position, we don't really specialize in that category. We can develop that for sure, but we only know simply to be present. And again, if a man's operating his masculine role, especially energetically, we are designed as pillars for the emotional waves to crash into, and just be there. And sometimes, in most times, that's all that it takes. When you have that bad day, or somebody cut you off, or you're just raging, you come inside the house.
Oh man.
Most a beta guy, when you come inside the house and you're raging and you're pissed and you're slamming doors, he's gonna think, what did I do? He's gonna victimize himself. But a man that is in a more masculine role, in a supportive state, he's gonna say, hey, what's on your mind? What's going on? It's not. He's not emotionally triggered. He's not taking responsibility for it. He's there.
Right.
He's and his energy is this.
Right.
And at that point, you can talk about it. Whatever. You have that support. A man's not gonna sit there and cry with you. But we'll sit there. We'll listen. And be present.
I mean, he could be with you while you cry.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're not going to cry with you, but we'll be the
Right.
shoulder for you to cry on. And that's why we have such shoulders,
Right.
That's meant for that,
Yeah.
and that is the balance I find that is, that works for a long-term relationship. And I mean, if anybody, has another example, I mean, but yeah.
For the record, I think everything is always the man's fault in relationships, mainly marriages. It's always the man's fault. If things don't work, it's the man's fault. That is I do have like instances where, if you're a cheater, you're a cheater. That's not the man's fault. Like that's who you are. If you're abusive, you're abusive. If you have some kind of very toxic behavior, that's totally different. But in general, I do believe that everything, so women wanting this and everything, is always the man's fault. And I believe this because the man is supposed to be the head of the household and the leader. Now you have abusive men and you have all this stuff. And by all means, I've been there, done that also. So I know what that's like. Okay. But at the same time, the man allows for the women to do things. Like I said, if the man is the thermostat and the woman is the temperature, a woman is a reflection of her man. And we choose, although sometimes it doesn't feel like it's a choice, because women who are caught in very unfortunate circumstances where they're with somebody who is very controlling, very abusive, all those things that are toxic traits. Okay. When the woman is with somebody and feels like she was dating him for so long and she can't get out, and then she chooses to marry him, that is a very unfortunate circumstance, and that is not more than likely the situation. Okay. But I choose everyone I married, I choose. They say, well, men choose who they marry. Yeah, men propose.
Yeah.
I think they should. I will never propose to a man.
Yeah, no, men choose.
100%. But I accept.
Yeah.
I could say no, and if I say no, I probably need to move on anyways. The relationship needs to be over if somebody
Right.
says no, like unless you're like, well, whatever. But in general, I always think that it's the man's fault. Like because the man is leading, and the thing that people always fail to realize, they be like, "Oh, a woman's supposed to submit to her man." Most people who say that want blind obedience. Blind obedience and submission is two different things.
Correct. I agree.
They go hand in hand because if I'm submissive to you, I'm more than likely going to obey you also. But it's different.
It is different.
Obedience comes with submission, but submission does not come with obedience.
Yeah,
or
because you might
vice
be
versa.
submitting against your will.
Right.
Yeah, but-
So, well, then you're obeying against your will. I wouldn't use the word submitting, even though I know that's the proper terminology.
Yeah.
So, with that, I just think that the woman is.
But here's the thing that I find most women don't acknowledge, which is pure human accountability, which is at the end of the day, us being creatures of choice. Despite, yes, the man is
Yes.
the leader of the household, you have to accept. And again, I agree with you to a degree because
And I don't disagree with that statement you just made. either.
I agree with you to a degree because of the fact that we can pinpoint a starting factor. Or sorry,
Right.
we can pinpoint
Right.
a originating factor. Sorry, no, God dang it.
I know
We
what
can-
you're saying. We can pinpoint when everything.
Yeah, so like
when the tides turned.
yes, yeah,
can
and I
pinpoint
will
that,
I
yeah.
will too because again, if a man's doing what he's supposed to do, yes, the woman will fall supposed to be.
Okay.
But we have to look at the accountability narrative, which is at what point are we looking at the woman just simply operating in her authenticity of chaos, right?
See, I was agreeing, but I still can't even disagree.
Because, you know, and so there are a lot of black podcasters that call, they got it from Kevin Samuels, I think, that's like, they
Okay.
call women agents of chaos. And it's quite interesting because when things are boring in a relationship, they crave, you know, why do you think the perfect example?
Right. I know what you're talking
Real
about.
lives housewives.
Well,
you know,
that has to do with like that, and that actually is very scientific because it has to do with your dopamine and your oxytocin and
Yep.
all those kind of levels and stuff like that when you become like that. But the problem typically is the woman was raised up in that.
possibly you. Yeah.
And so typically now it still can be something that forms, but more times than not, it's going to be a woman who was raised up in that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a toxic single mother household, right?
Mm-hmm.
One that hates the father, one that says, if you can't have us both, then you're not going to have me at all.
Right.
And so when you're looking at things like that, no, that is,
Yeah.
and those are also the men that allow women to want supporters.
Now, and here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Because I also want to, you know, address the men in this as well. Because we're looking at upbringing now. And, you know, look at me. I was a nice guy up until, 2021, 2022, where I finally stepped into my masculinity thanks to getting kicked in the face and choked out. But, like,
I think you're
you know,
still a nice guy.
So the thing is that I didn't have boundaries. I put women on a pedestal because I was raised by a single mom and I adore my mom. You know, so in that adoration, there is a blind area where we allow things out of it's okay, I love you, I'm gonna forgive you, and despite the fact our heart's in the right place,
Right.
we're not holding ourselves to a level of self-respect, I guess is really a way to put it.
And see, I think that
So yes, is that on me? It is, but again, it goes back to how we were raised. So again, I can't say
Yeah.
it's men or earlier. I don't think fault is the right word. We have to
that's
look
why I
at
kind of went through other words.
because there's other narratives. There's
Right.
other pieces, and again, let's go back to the real truth here. There is a systematic narrative to destroy the household.
Yes, to destroy the nuclear family.
The nuclear
100%
family,
I agree.
and then of course on a lower level below that, to keep us divided, to keep men and women against each
Right,
other. Because
right.
guess what happens? Now we're not married. Now there's no kids
Keep
being
men
born.
and women, to keep black and white, to keep
100%.
everything that is like not whatever. And it's so easy because if we're fighting with each other,
Mm-hmm.
man, woman, black, white, whatever, they're doing whatever because we're too worried about what's going on.
Correct, and things are being
It's
passed
just,
and
it's
allowed.
just the circus.
Correct, and then now again, and I gotta credit Fresh and Fit for this clown world. now you got that,
Fresh and fit is.
that's fair. That's fair. But I'm just in that
Yeah.
phrase. I
He
don't
says
want to
some
take.
things that's cool, but a lot of what he says, I'm like,
They,
I don't think I don't think he is what he think he is. Like, anyways, that's beside the point. Beside the point.
But yeah, no, it gets to this clown world that we're in now, and it's scary because I mean you're a parent, you have kids,
Right.
and it's like, okay, now I really got to be vigilant and operate in who are they around,
Right.
what are they looking at on their phones, because I don't want the system
Oh
programming.
my gosh, yeah, because I think about that all the time with Ayana, who be on her tablet so much, and I'm like, what are you looking at? But I can look through her videos, and I can look through, so there is some sense of peace, but it's
But and it's sad that you have to do
Right,
that because guess what?
right.
Back in my day, we had Power Rangers, okay, safe. We had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. The only red flag of any content that I consumed as a kid was Looney Tunes, and that's coyotes blowing up other animals with dynamite, Elmer Fudd shooting at a rabbit, axes being swung at people's necks and heads, Tom and Jerry, hitting each other with irons and bowling balls and running over each other with the train tracks. That's probably the only red flag thing that I consumed as a kid, which am I, hitting people with bowling balls and stuff?
Maybe.
No. Like,
Anna thinks I should go on Fresh and Fit.
oh wow, that'd be interesting.
I'd be a little
Are they
different.
thing anymore? Because they got.
I know that
canceled
they
about it.
got. I don't know. I think they had to go different outlets. I don't think they're on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. They're on
anymore.
Rumble.
Like I think
Yeah.
that they had to whatever.
By the way, yeah, we should totally put this on Rumble. It's a great
Okay.
platform.
I
Yep.
think we can do live there too. But yeah, no. I totally forgot again.
Oops,
Today has been that day.
Forgot again.
Right. They would not eat me alive. They would not eat me alive. The thing is that it's like they say things. It depends because some of the things that they say I agree with, but I'm also not one of the girls who think that. I never once thought, and Anna, you kind of know where I'm coming from, with what I'm about to say, but I never once thought that as an OnlyFans girl that I deserve the world.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, that's
I
not you.
also never once thought that. Like I think that there's something different or whatever if you're in a relationship and you're with somebody and you guys do that together versus if I just go and do that. I think that's whatever. Okay, I think that there's kind of they're on Rumble and demonetized on YouTube. Oh, okay, that's it. They're just demonetized. Okay, so no, the thing is that I also sit here and when men say, oh, I make millions of dollars and I can have whoever I want and I have discipline in all my areas, but I don't need discipline in women. Why not? Like, that's so weird. Like,
How does that work?
That's what I'm saying. Like if you have discipline, you can, I'm not built that way. And then they get mad when you say stuff like that. Like, no, because you guys keep talking about biology. The reason why men had to procreate so much was because the death rate of women and having babies was like almost 50, was like 50% ish. There was like a really good chance. There was like a really good chance. Okay. There was a really good chance that she might not make it and the baby might die.
Correct.
Like that was not.
And that's been proven,
That was not. So there was also, and then on top of that, the survival rate, depending on the living conditions for people as they were hunters, gatherers, and how many are going to make it past 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, were very low also. So you talk about, biology, men are supposed to be able to do da, 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 da. Yeah, but also why did that happen?
Right. And I will say that in that narrative here's the truth. If I follow my pathway and I make it to that level of success where I'm bringing in $100,000 a month, then absolutely. If I choose that lifestyle and somebody decides to pursue me for what I've acquired, fine. The only thing I'll say is a man should always be upfront. What I'm not okay with is the games, which is, oh yeah, I'll take care of you. I want to die. No, I'm not going to take care of you. I don't know you.
Right.
But I will absolutely make your girlfriend for the day, and we'll have a great time, and you'll go on your way, and you'll have the best experience of your life and a great memory. I'm
going to make memories with you. Like,
so
I'm going to make those memories.
To me, that's fair because again, men hit their prime at 45, maybe even 50, right? If they're taking care of themselves, they've established, they've got money in the bank, couple cars, a boat at the Ozarks since we're in the Midwest. But a female, her prime is, as they say, 18 to 25, right?
Yeah.
As far as the baby making and everything
And,
else.
I do agree with that. Okay. In the sense that, like you said, but actually, I would say probably 21 and up because even at 18,
From the eye of the man.
well, no. I'm saying biology also.
Okay.
The reason why is because, so I had my daughter at 20. Okay. I was married at 18. I had her at 20. My oldest at 20. If you are under 21, at least at the time that I had her, and things change. It's almost 20 years ago, and medicine goes on. I had preeclampsia toxemia. I was a high risk pregnancy.
What?
That happens typically in women under 20. I know it's under 21. It might be 24. So under 20, when I had her, I was in prime time to have preeclampsia, and also women over 40 who have babies, 35 or 40. So your time actually, you want to be over 20 to have babies, and under 40, under 35 starts risk. Over 40 really has a lot more risk. So your prime time is really, it's not, I wouldn't say 18, even though like you're legal and you can have babies. Yeah, you can have babies at 14. Okay. I get that.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of weird, right?
And then that also had to do with, the lifespan of people.
Oh, fair.
Because people's lifespan was,
Yeah, they were getting married at 12 back then.
Yeah, right. They were getting married because they had to do that. And so women can start having kids at 12. It's funny because men, puberty, and I get that they both could, but the women that were being married even at the young age of 12 and 14 historically throughout time, hundreds of years ago, and in some places there's some crazy, we're not going to go there in this episode, but even with all that happening, they were being married off to older men, to 25, 30-year-old. And the reason why is because this 14-year-old and this 14-year-old is not going to make a life.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
they would marry these young women off to much older men.
That makes sense.
And so even still, so their prime was, so I would say it's for your chances to have a healthy baby. You're looking at over 20, at least 20 to 35. So I'd say it's a good 15 years. And I get that. If you want offspring, by all means, yes. If you want a woman who you can kind of mold in a way to be supportive, the younger the better. Okay. I mean, that sounds kind of bad, right? But I mean, it's just true. The younger mind.
And it's not to say that I haven't seen some gorgeous 40-year-olds. My God.
I mean, look at me.
So
I'm not even wearing makeup.
that's
And
true.
I like it zoomed in on me.
This
Camera, I don't feel like I look like that.
it's its own.
It like makes me this way, like it. Anyways, that's beside the point. So,
It's a
but I
wide
mean,
angle camera.
I'm cute. So you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think I'm a strong 7. 6 and 7. Like if you call me a 6, I won't be mad. But I'm definitely like a little bit above average. So hold on. I agree with you, Frank. Okay, listen and watch. Although I can't benefit from what they say advice because I'm married. But in 20s, oh yeah, no. So they're talking about fresh and fit, and
Okay.
yeah, I definitely I agree with a lot of what he says, but like I'm thinking about this recent video that I saw, which he was like, oh, men going down on women is submissive and blah, blah. No, unless you just want to.
Yeah.
I was like, some stuff he says, when he says stuff that's wrong, it is so stupid.
And he might be saying it just to get a rise out of people
Hey,
too.
you know what? I don't know. He be saying some
'Cause,
very.
I mean, if you're into that, I mean, I don't think that's submissive. I just think that's.
It's just a
I
fresh
know
has
dudes
no
that get
value,
off
I
of
think.
that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like it's like he sounds so, when he says stuff that's it's so stupid. But then he does say stuff that's gonna hurt the girls, but like, I mean, it is true,
Yeah.
and I get that because men. We're about to go into another video at this point. We have to go live because I haven't figured out how to record yet on my equipment
and save it.
and save it. I recorded and I can't find it on my computer. So we're actually going to go into a new topic. I'm going to cut this short. We are going live because we just have to and download videos. And hopefully soon we will have some edits that we can come back to later. So on our next live here we're going to take a little break in a few minutes. We're going to talk about what you bring to the table. So stay tuned. Come back